Welcome back to the UnPro Show. I am here with Manny today. Manny, welcome to the UnPro Show.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me. Very excited for today.
Very excited. So just to give you a little rundown of what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be playing our game, which is Fast Money Family Feud. We're going to be doing some reviews of you're currently in Cincinnati, a Cincinnati transplant. So we'll be reading some reviews of the Great American Ballpark down there in Cincinnati. And then we're going to be doing some UnPro relationship advice. So we don't really have any sports going on. The Euro finals are going on, but we're not doing a whole lot of sports. We're going to see how it goes, see what this episode's like. But before we get to that, are you UnPro? Are you somebody with creative energy, but you don't have a place to properly channel it? Do you have creative content ideas, but you don't have the skills necessary to create them? Are you trying to stand out in an industry that is overcrowded or nearly impossible to stand out in? Do you want to be on this show or a show just like it? Tell us about it. Link in bio. Are you UnPro? No credentials needed. So our game today, as I touched on, is Family Feud Fast Money. We're doing this a little bit differently because, Manny, you're not a family. You're just a guy. So you're just currently one person. So we're going to be doing 10 questions. We're going to stop after 5, count up your answers, go through another 5. You're trying to get 250 points total over the 10 questions. So you're trying to average 25 points per question. If you get 251 points, you win. 250 points or less, you lose. And we're not really going to time this. Just go quick. I'll make fun of you if you take too long. But it should be fun.
Sounds like a plan. I'm ready.
Right, cool.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Family Feud, Fast Money. Name an excuse teenagers give their parents for coming home late. Come on.
I had homework. I had homework.
It was so fast. You froze. You froze so quick. It's Fast Money. He asked me a question.
Hey, I got the answer. Homework is a good one. Homework is a good one.
Homework?
Yes.
Okay, homework is your answer.
Oh, no. All right, let's start over.
We're not starting over. All right, number two. Name something that comes in a spray bottle.
Hairspray.
Okay, number 3. Name a kind of singer.
Pop.
Okay. That's not your worst answer. All right, number 4. Tell me a kind of person. All right. Tell me a kind of person on display in wax museums.
The Rock. An actor.
A rock?
Oh,
like
The Rock. Like
no.
Yes.
Tell me a kind of person.
Like what they do for a living?
Sure. Yes.
An actor.
Okay. All right. There you go. Number 5. Name something that has wooden legs.
A chair.
That's
100 points.
That was your best answer. That was your best answer by far. All right.
I like it.
All right, here we go. Let's put Manny's answers back up on the board. All right, number 1, you had name an excuse. Name an excuse teenagers give their parents for coming home late. You said homework. Looking at the answers here, that is 0. You did. That's a 0. Number 1 is car trouble. Number 2 is lost track of time. So those are what you were going for.
It's been a while, It's been a while.
All right, number 2. Name something that comes in a spray bottle. You said hairspray, which is 35 points. There you go, 35 points. Number 1 answer was window cleaner, like a Windex or something like that.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. All right, number 3. Name a kind of singer. You said pop, 19 points. Number 1 was country singer. Pop was like kind of like
okay.
Number 2. All right. Number 4. Tell me a kind of person on display at a wax museum. You said an actor. Number 1 answer, 45 points for an actor. And
yes.
Number 5. Name something that has wooden legs. Chair. Number 1 answer, 40 points. Big points there at the end. Your first answer was pretty bad, but after that, I'd say you kind of hit your stride a little bit. So
had to get the first one out of the way.
I'll add it up at the end. I think you did pretty well there. You're over 100 for sure. So that's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I feel good. Chair saved me there.
Chair and actor. Those were big points. All right. Moving on. Hopefully you don't freeze when I ask you this first question this time and say homework. All right. Name an occupation a bad driver should avoid.
Truck driver.
Name something specific that people make reservations for.
Restaurants. Oh, that was good. I feel it.
Name something that a woman never forgets about her fiance's marriage proposal.
The ring.
Name something that burglars check to see if a family is out of town.
Lights. If the lights are on.
Name something people do to corn.
Eat it.
You're gonna lock in, eat it?
I mean, what else do you do to corn? Cook
A
it.
lot of things. A lot of things, as we will find out. All right. All right. So, question number 6 here. You said name an occupation a bad driver should avoid. Truck driver. Number 1 answer, truck driver, 31 points. Number 2 was bus driver. I would argue bus driver might be more because you got kids on there, so you don't want to hurt
That's
any
true.
of the kids.
That is true.
Don't be a bad driver driving kids around. All right. Number 7. Name something specific that people make reservations for. You said a restaurant. Number 1 answer, 35 points. Pretty good. Pretty good. Number 2 answer here was hotels. Also a similar kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Almost same amount of points. Name something that a woman never forgets about her fiance's marriage proposal. You said the ring. That is actually the 3rd answer. 22.
Okay.
Number 1 is the way he asked her, and number 2 is the place.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then name something that a burglar checks to see if a family is out of town. You said the lights. Number 2 answer, 27 points. Number 1 was mail. I don't really know how mail would do anything now. No one checks mail anymore. This might be from like 2008. So
yeah, this is outdated. Give me number 1.
And then you said name something people do to corn. You said eat it. I mean, I'll give you 4 points because people said butter. Me? People said butter, the corn. That's eating it with butter on it. Number 1 answer is popcorn.
I think the question was asked incorrectly. I want to recount this. You eat popcorn, you know?
Boil, I guess cook. I mean, I'm surprised eat isn't on here. I guess actually what this says east. It might have been a typo. Actually, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say that was a typo, and you got the number 2 answer of east, which I think was
okay.
So there you go. So there you go. There was your fast money. I think you got it. I was doing a bad job of calculating this. I'm just going to say yes, you won. I'm going to say you definitely got it.
I think I did. The only terrible answer I had was homework, which honestly was not that bad. You always, when you were younger, you try to make it seem like you were busy to your parents so that you could stay out longer with your friends. You know, you go to the library not to do homework, you go to talk to your friends. So I don't think it was as bad as you're saying.
I was surprised that car trouble was so far ahead of everything else because it was car trouble 38 points, which seems like that's like a third of people would say that. I'm going to disagree with that. That seems like that's really high. I feel like
that's what adults do. That's
yeah, my car.
That's what we say.
Actually, I have COVID. All right. So there you go. That was your fast money. Congratulations on your win. I will have counted it up in the video so the audience will see how many points you got. I think it's around 300. I think that's about where you were. So congrats.
Yeah, feel good about it. That was good.
I'm now 0-4 in games. I have never won a game that I've made. I keep losing to everyone I bring on. The streak will end at some point. We don't know when, but it'll be someday soon. All right. So moving on to one of my favorite things that we do on the UnPro show, and that is stadium reviews. And Manny, as I mentioned, you are a Cincinnati transplant. So we're doing the Great American Ballpark today. Have you been to the Great American Ballpark before?
I have. It's actually just down the street from my place. So I have buddies that are there right now at a Reds game, actually.
There you
so
go.
Yes. They play every day. It feels like at least. So yeah.
Oh yeah. They play a lot of baseball games. That's true, man.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. So you've been there before. Do you have a review of the Great American Ballpark as someone that's been there before? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were your thoughts on the Great American Ballpark?
It is the best stadium that I've been to. So take that with a grain of salt. That I've the best baseball stadium that I have been to, and I've only been to one other one.
What was the other one? Don't say
The
Wrigley
Sox
Field.
Stadium.
Okay,
No,
okay. If
no,
you were to
no,
say
no.
Wrigley, I was gonna get really mad at you.
Okay, and the reason why I say this is because I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but there's no bad seat in the stadium. You can sit behind home plate, or you can sit way up in the nosebleeds. You can see the entire game. It is great. And if you're way up in the nosebleeds, tickets are super cheap. They
Oh
have a
yeah.
bunch of deals going on. And you get a view of Kentucky and the Ohio River.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah,
you can
it's
just
literally
sit up.
like, yeah, it's like on the border pretty much over there. It's like right
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
river. Yeah.
So you sit up there, you drink a couple beers with your friends, and it's a great time. It's a fun time.
So
So
that's a 5-star review, it seems like.
I I would say so for me, but I feel like for a baseball fan who's been to multiple stadiums, it'll probably be 3.5 to 4. I would say is a good
Okay,
review for
okay. Well, we're gonna be reading the 1-star reviews because they're better, they're funnier in my opinion.
that.
So we're gonna be reading some people that don't like the stadium. So I guess we got one ringing proposal: best stadium that you've ever been to. These people might have something else to say about that. All right. The first one, this is from Robin K. This was 3 months ago. And they have a Tiger King profile picture on Google reviews, which that's interesting. That probably never changed that from 2020. I don't know what 12-year-old ADHD kid they have as a DJ in that stadium, but I've never experienced something that annoying. Worst kind of loud electronic music after every pitch. I will never watch the Reds again. So I don't think that he's actually ever been to a baseball game where they're like playing modern music in it. It's just like I don't understand what Robin wants him to do. Just put headphones on. You're gonna be fine. Like I don't know. This one kind of bothered me a little bit. It's like, what do you think they were playing in the stadium that was driving them nuts?
You're going to a baseball game. Like you have to expect this. Like I have no idea. Like
because it's I think he's getting mad at like the walk-up songs. So it's like, he has like some guys playing like a rap song. He's like, oh, this electronic music. I absolutely hate this electronic music. It's like I think you just gotta like listen to Spotify once, man. Just like look at the home page. It was that, and then what I don't think he knows pop songs in other languages. So it's like they play Paypas or something, and he just loses his mind. Oh, this is garbage. But it's like the
why do
most
they
popular
keep
song
playing
ever
this?
made. That was Robin and him thinking that the DJ's a 12-year-old ADHD kid, which just seems wrong.
He was probably so mad that the DJ kept playing the same song every time the same batter would come up.
It was like every time he comes up, dude.
You already played this, bro. Like, why is this being played again?
Every time. So yeah, Robin with the Tiger King pictures might have been Tiger King. I don't remember what that guy's name was, so might have been Robin. I don't know. All right, this one is from 2 weeks ago from James Minton. It is very rarely give 1 stars. First, the fireworks went off before it was dark, pre-game. I showed you the picture. I'll put it up right now. He has a picture of the fireworks. He's all upset that it's still light outside. It says post-game right there in the middle of the exact picture. It's on the screen. And so he's just a blatant liar. He's just telling lies on Google reviews. He says how he gets off. He's just making stuff up. I mean, I don't know what that is.
I would make the argument that this is not his seldom 1-star review. Like, this is all he does.
This is in his first 1-star review. Very rarely gets 1 star. So, and what? It was also 2 weeks ago. So it's also like the time where the days are the longest. So it might have been like 9 o'clock at night and it's just light outside. Like, does he want him to control the sun? What does he want him to do? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. And so, also, I know you're not from Cincinnati, so I do want to explain this for the people out there. Firework Fridays are every Friday. Every home game on a Friday has fireworks after the game. And they're amazing fireworks. They're like 4th of July fireworks. So this guy knew that they were going to happen. And they play music, and they're actually great. Like,
they're a great time. So fully endorsed. Actually a great time. Like, who's going to complain about free fireworks? Like, and yes.
For $10,
Go.
$10 seat, probably.
Probably, yeah. He was actually sitting decently close. He probably paid a decent amount for those, but
Okay.
not enough to get all upset about the fireworks, about the game ending too early and it not being dark enough for the fireworks. I don't know how that's anyone's fault other than God's fault for not making it dark enough. I don't know who else he has to blame in that situation. But he continues. James Minton, the liar, continues. Second, and the worst, not me, but some very excited fans would occasionally stand up to cheer for their favorite players and amazing plays. And the usher would come by and tell them they had to remain seated like it was a damn movie theater. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's another lie. That's actually another lie. Could you imagine some guy stands up after a home run and it's like, oh, yeah, let's go Reds. And some usher comes by and is like, hey, you got to sit down up there. I don't know what you're doing up there, but clearly you can't be cheering on your team. He's just like legitimately a liar. Like
he was probably the guy telling them to sit down. He
exactly,
was the usher.
Exactly.
Yeah. This guy,
it's so bad.
This guy needs some therapy or something. He's just angry at life. What's his name again?
James Minton.
James, send us an email or something. We can connect you with some people.
But I think it's BetterHelp if they want to throw some money. throw just a quick check. But yeah, I could you imagine that though? Like an usher standing up in the middle of the game and telling someone, "Hey, please sit down. You're being too loud." At a sporting event, I've never. Could you imagine that at like Allen Fieldhouse? That's what they do the entire time. Is just stand up and yell.
It doesn't happen unless you're like hurting people, you know. If you're in someone else's space, which doesn't sound like this is the case. Like
no,
it just doesn't happen.
It just sounds like he was like on the side of the people that were yelling, not the ushers. But the ushers wouldn't get mad at that. He already told one lie, so you can't get into the second one isn't a lie. So this is the third review. This one is a little bit longer. This is from Rick Daniels, and this is a year ago. We had a group of 12 people. Everything was good until it started to rain, and it rained, and it rained. Reds management waited too long. So I guess he just has a stutter in the middle of his review. It rained, and it rained for too long. I don't, Mr. Rick, I don't know, stop repeating yourself. Stop. Maybe like look at what you're typing before you post it. I don't know. It rained and it rained too long. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Waited too long to decide on having the concert during the rain delay. Then we found out that it was going to be on the Jumbotron, so it was going to be like a video concert. And also, Reds management took too long to cancel the game. I'm just going to he doesn't have any punctuation in this. That's why I'm reading it really fast. It's because it's just all one sentence. He never checked this thing.
He's clearly very angry. They waited too long. Like this is too long.
Too long. And what he goes on to say that this was a Saturday evening game. We found out that the makeup game is going to be the next day on Sunday, but we were busy and had plans already. And I knew that there's not very many games left at home, but we felt like they should have offered a game to switch next year. So we paid some good money. Didn't spend his bad money. Got to pay the good money to see a game and a concert. We saw nothing. Rick, invest in some periods, so I don't have to read it like that next time because it just kind of bothered me.
Yeah, that makes things hard. Is that the whole review?
That was the whole review. I read it very quick just because, like I said, he didn't put any periods in there, so I can go as fast as I want because there's no need to stop, which I said just sort of bothered me. But he was basically just complaining that he went there. Said there was going to be a concert during the rain delay. Then there was a rain delay and he couldn't get tickets because it was the end of the season, so he was upset about it. And my thought was that like Rick's the kind of guy to complain about. He's the kind of guy to go to McDonald's and complain the ice cream machine is broken. It's like they have no control over that. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So he just wants to be mad.
Yeah. He just wants to complain to someone. Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Yeah. And my thought with it too was like this was clearly said late in the season. It was like September. So like how much is a Reds ticket in September, do you think, to go see the Reds play at the end of the season when they're not involved in anything? It's gonna be like $5.
Yeah, it's $5 to $10. $10 after fees, let's call it. Like, it really is just not. It's not good money. Let's just say that
it's not good money.
You're paying cover. You're paying cover to go in there and have a couple beers. Yeah.
I I don't totally get the good money thing. What's the difference between good money and bad money? Is like bad money like this is my drug money, that I haven't laundered yet. This is my bad money. What's good money versus bad money? I don't totally know.
I feel like it just adds emphasis as to like this was a big purchase for me. This was
Yeah,
like
yes.
this was significant amount of monny for
It
me.
was a
Like it
big deal.
justifies me being angry, you know? That
It's hard to tell if he's
but
from Ohio or Kentucky. It's one of the two. It's one of the two.
hey man, the no periods give it up, man. He's from Kentucky. Like that's
Rick
might have to cut
Daniels.
that part
Yeah,
out.
yeah. There you go. That was Great American Ballpark reviews. Uh, have your thoughts changed at all about the Great American Ballpark after this?
I think these people just don't actually like going to baseball games. I think
No, I think they're just anti-fun. James hates fireworks. Rick hates spending more than $5, and Robin doesn't like music. So stop going to baseball games, all three of you, and you probably have a better time.
yeah. Find something else.
So this is something that I've been sitting on this idea for a long time, and it is the UnPro relationship advice with Manny. So this is unprofessional relationship advice. We are not professionals in any way. Hence the name of the show, the name of the segment. It is UnPro. It is not done professionally at all. But Manny, what you've been married for almost a year now, which is
Almost a
pretty
year, yeah.
legit. So you are experienced in the relationship category.
I ask my wife. I we'll see.
We will find out. So
Yeah.
basically, we're just gonna go through. We're gonna read some stuff that I found on Reddit. Most of it's pretty funny, and we're just gonna kind of give our opinions about what these people, the different issues these people have. Just give them some advice. I'll try to read through it relatively quickly. If you want me to stop in the middle because you have something to say, just like try to like motion at the camera, so I'll stop reading. Because it's probably like a 1 to 2 minute read for these first couple. All right. This first one might be the best Reddit post that there's ever been. I'm very excited for this one. All right. My 26 female boyfriend, 28 male, is obsessed with a lantern he found at a flea market, and it's getting weird. How do I approach this? So, my boyfriend and I recently went to a flea market, and he found this old style lantern that he absolutely fell in love with. He bought it on the spot, and I thought it was a cute little vintage decoration for our apartment. But now things have taken a strange turn. That was confusing all for anybody. Basically, this guy just found like I'm trying to think like it's like a caretaker's lantern thing that like people had in like the 1920s that he's just like walking around with. I'll probably put a picture of it as I was reading it. But to continue, ever since he got the lantern, he's become super attached to it. And he keeps it by his bedside and even gets up in the middle of the night to walk around the apartment with it, pretending to be an old timey watchman. He'll say things like, all is well, or the night is dark and full of tears. That's so good. That's so good. I just imagine, and for some reason in my mind, they've got like a 400 square foot apartment. Like they're just on top of each other. And he's just walking around the studio with this thing. Just saying, the night is dark and full of tears. Oh my goodness. Uh, this continues. At first, I thought it was kind of funny and endearing, as he always had an eccentric style of humor. But now it's starting to annoy me. He does this almost every night, and it's disrupting our sleep. I've tried to talk to him about it, but he just tells me that he takes his watchman duties very seriously, and it's important for our safety. The issue is, I generally cannot tell if he's joking. Has anyone experienced something like this before? And how do I get it to him to tone down his interests and not make him feel bad about it? So there you go. That's our predicament that we're in now, Manny. Is this guy has an old timey lantern, and he's disrupting his girlfriend's sleep patterns because he just keeps saying all is well, and the night is dark and full of tears.
Yeah. It sounds like every relationship I've ever heard of. This is very normal stuff.
I mean, this is day one stuff. I mean, clearly she's never lived with a boy before because I mean, I know I always had my lantern next to my bed. I think I went to the phase though when I was younger than 28, and I was like more like in the teens, I think. My first thought was she's very ungrateful. I mean, she has a watchman that watches the apartment for her. She got to be a little bit grateful for this guy because it's a hard job. It's hard to be a watchman every single night like that.
The guy's dedicated. You can say that about him.
But so this was go.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I mean, this is obviously important to him, but it's obviously something that a behavior that she does not like.
No, not at
Um,
all.
it's a tough conversation, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough conversation.
I
My
don't
words,
have much
man.
for but
Because like
the
as a
best comment
guy,
that I
okay.
saw, and just this might actually work, is to get him to stop doing this, is to get a bigger and fancier lantern and assert dominance over him and start doing it too. So he loses interest in it.
Just take his job. Just be better at his job and take it.
You're the watchman now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I was about to say, as a guy, you kind of want to side with him a little bit because
He's not
this is
doing anything
important to him.
wrong. Yeah.
He's not hurting anyone. Like this is just his thing. I mean, is it the most normal thing? No, but you know, they might need a bigger apartment, man. That might be my best
Might need a
bet.
bigger
My best.
apartment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just have him watch another side of the apartment or the house, and just let him do his thing.
Like it might not be that bad. Maybe she sent him outside. Like just start doing some outside things. Hey, go watch outside. Don't watch inside. And then you just go out there. He'll probably be fine. I mean, he's watching. It's not like anything bad's gonna happen to him. He is the
Yeah, just
watchman.
tell him to go watch the neighbor's house.
Yeah. That would be terrifying. Could you imagine that? Just some dude with a lantern outside your window looking at you. Oh my goodness. What this is so I was talking to my dad about this a little bit before we recorded, and he wrote this joke and I thought this was so good. So he said, quote, she should tell him that if word got out to the rest of the colonizers that the British are coming by land, he would ride away on a horse and probably stop. The old Paul Revere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was one of my favorite posts I think I've ever found in all of my course of Reddit. This is so good.
Dude, you could tell she's very into it. She
Yeah.
wrote that really well.
She
That's the
did.
whole story.
I know. Do you have any actual advice for this? I mean, I think like actually getting your own lantern is actually decent advice. I mean, of real things to do, talk to him about it. Just be like, hey, don't do it every night. Don't do it every other night. Do it like you're the watchman 2 nights a week. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, if we're being serious about this,
Yeah.
but my 2 cents would be she has to figure out what part of it she's not okay with. Is it the actual action, the fact that he
Yeah.
does it so much that it's annoying, or is it the fact that he does this and it's weird and she doesn't accept that like her partner's doing this?
Yeah.
And then so
Yeah.
it's two very different conversations that you have with your partner, depending on
Yeah.
what.
I guess I think she knows which one it is. She just has to decide. She has to figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, so I guess yeah, either get a bigger lantern or talk to him. Both are good options. You can choose which one you want to do, lady.
Let us know how it goes.
Let us know. Number two. This one is a little bit shorter. I, male 35, asked my girlfriend's mom, female 60, who is a single parent, for her blessing. It didn't go well. What do I do now? I want to propose to my girlfriend, female 35. We have been together for 2 years. I told her mom that I want to marry her daughter and that a blessing would mean a lot. Her mother then berated me for 15 minutes of all of these unresolved issues about her marriage that didn't work out, issues between her and her daughter. And her mom used 2 isolated incidents of our relationship saying that I wasn't enough of a gentleman like my girlfriend's grandfather. I was
Oh,
literally shell shocked during this time. I stayed calm, didn't lash out, and kind of let her mom get stuff out of her system. I love my girlfriend, but where do I go from here? So
wow.
I guess my first question to you is: did you ask for the blessing? Did you ask for her? Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
Yes. I asked her dad. Yeah, just it's a whole story, man. I could go into it.
Just
But yeah, you don't realize how big of a deal it is to ask someone's
yeah,
parents to marry. their daughter, like your significant other's parents, until you are actually doing it. You are very nervous during that time. You're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so their response matters, their response
Yeah.
matters. So I feel for them. That's really hard.
That would be really hard. Yeah. So look, if you said you didn't really want to get into it, I'm kind of curious. What's your story? How did it go? Was it positive?
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, very positive.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it actually
it wasn't like this guy.
no, nothing like that. Well, I'll cut some things out just to make it quickly. But basically, I go home for a weekend from Cincinnati. My wife now was living in Chicago at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to Chicago for a weekend, and I know that during this weekend, I'm going to propose to her. So it's Friday. I get home, and I'm asking her dad, hey, can I marry your daughter? But in the anticipation of it, I was trying to ask him to dinner with me so I could take him, buy him a nice meal, and then ask him, right? But asking him to go to dinner with me was so hard to the point that I just kept procrastinating. And then we started building a telescope that his boss got him. So we're building this telescope.
So
and I'm not talking about like this $20 telescope. I'm talking about like a $600 big telescope.
Yeah.
And
so this is like a full endeavor. Yeah.
Yes. 0 brain cells because I'm so nervous about asking him to dinner. And we built this telescope for like 4 hours, and we're building it wrong the whole time because he's letting me do my thing and I can't think. So long story short, we built the telescope. We figure it out. It's too foggy outside, too cloudy. We can't see anything. We bring it back inside. I go to bed, and I'm like, okay, I got to ask him tomorrow because then Sunday is the proposal. So then we take the dogs to the dog park Saturday around brunch time. And at the park, we're just walking, and we do about 5 laps, so about a mile. And I'm just like, I got to ask him. And so I'm super nervous again. And we're just doing laps and laps. And he's like, okay, we should go home. And I'm like, oh, let's do one more. So I knew that we had to do one more lap. So we ended up walking about 2 miles with the dogs just around this dog park.
Just you procrastinating the entire time. You're just shaking, nervous. Like, I got to ask him. I got to ask him right now.
And I never thought about this, but as soon as I asked the question and I showed him the ring, he got very nervous too.
Oh, wow.
So all he said was absolutely. And that was it. Oh, wow. That was it. He just said absolutely. I could tell he was tearing up a little bit. And then we walked. It was silent for about half a lap. And then we went home. And then, so I went to my parents afterwards. I go to my parents. And then like an hour later, he sends me this super nice text. And he's like, sorry, I was out of words. But obviously it was nerve-wracking for him too. So
no, that had to absolutely, because that would just, I think that would definitely show you something I never thought about. What it'd be like from the other side. Like to get asked. Yeah.
Especially at a dog park, like you're
just kind of random like that. Like we've been walking in his laps. He's probably really confused why you were quiet this whole time.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my story. But
that's a very good story. Yeah. That's very good. So so he just gives you one word, absolutely. I mean, I guess that's all you really need. That's not like you necessarily need that much more, because you're just like, that's what I came for.
Yeah. And he's that type of guy, he's not a guy that says a lot, and he just, that was about what I was expecting. So that was enough. I knew what he meant, so yeah. Going back to this guy, I can't imagine if he had been completely like the other way.
I guess, but to put it into your, if you would have said no, what would you have done? Would you have said, I'm going to marry her anyway? Like, what would you have done?
That's hard. I feel
really
like
hard. Yeah.
What I would have done is I would have probably asked, like, why not? Like, what do I need to do to change your mind? And then I would probably have the conversation with my girlfriend, since we're not engaged yet, with my girlfriend, and just be like, hey, I want to marry you. I asked your dad for permission. Like, what are your thoughts? Like,
yeah. That's probably exactly what this guy should do, though, is clearly this mom has some underlying issues of stuff going on. Like, she holds some kind of resentment against whatever relationship she had in the past. So just go talk to your girlfriend. Also, I'm just going to point out the fact he's 35 years old. I mean, if you want to marry,
He's a grown
this lady,
man.
if you want to marry this lady, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna get that mad.
Yeah, and she's 35 too, so she's probably looking to get married sometime soon as well.
Yeah,
and the biggest red flag about this entire situation is the fact that the mom was not like, I don't think you're a good guy. Like, she didn't give an example. Her examples were all about previous men involved in their family tree that were not great at relationships, according to her. So, I mean,
it just really like what the only guy that was nice was she said, quote, I wasn't enough of a gentleman like my girlfriend's grandfather. So I guess that's her dad. So he wasn't gentleman enough. But if you think about ages, that dude was born in like the 20s.
Yeah, guys were so different back then.
That's a different thing. That's a different kind of gentleman. It's a different kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I say just marry her.
Yeah. I would say,
or at least talk to her about it. Like, maybe don't buy a ring and propose until you talk about it with her.
Yeah. At least feel it out, and then no, I think you might want to consider moving very far away from from your in-laws after that.
Yeah, but don't move too close to the caretaker guy, because he might be outside your house with a lantern singing "The Night Is Dark" and Full of Terror.
We just told his wife to send them over to the neighbor's house. So,
so just be on the lookout. Actually, be on the lookout, everybody, for this guy and his lantern. You never know where he's going to turn up. But yeah, we're just going to cut it off there with your relationship advice. We went through 2 of them. I'd say that one I think we gave some pretty solid advice in both of those. Yeah. I learned a very good story about you being very nervous walking a dog. And you beat me again in Family Feud. I keep losing all of these games.
Hey, that Family Feud was tough. After the first question, I thought I was
homework.
I thought I was cooked.
It wasn't even the homework. It was the fact that I asked the question. You were just like, I have to answer this question now? Yeah, we talked about it beforehand. I introduced it.
Oh, man, you got to add an edit where it's like when you're doing math in your head and it's just like a bunch of formulas.
Oh, that's so good. But there you go. That was the UnPro show this week. Join us again next week. I think I'm going to have Ethan on next week. We're going to talk about, I think we're going to do some roasts. We'll see how that goes. But do you have anything else before we go?
No. Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
I had a great time. We'll do it again. And as always, best roast in the comments gets $5. Thank you guys for joining us.